Before we get into the labor issue, let's just set the table, if you will, a little bit. What happened to the restaurant industry over the 18 months that the pandemic was going on? And for so long, restaurants were closed or very limited. What did the losses look like industry wide in Arizona?
It was incredible. And I can give you some very important statistics that would really make your jaw drop. First and foremost, last March, as you know, when we said lights out, when we had to really shut down businesses in Arizona and many other places in the United States, our daily payroll went from 14 million to 2 in a matter of 3 days. We laid off 80% of our workforce. So that was just cutting everyone off at the knees, sadly to say, from a labor standpoint. Restaurant sale losses for the year 2020 just in Arizona alone were about 2.75 billion with a B. We lost about 900 to 1100 restaurants that went out of business permanently. And then juxtapose that to a national level, we lost about $250 billion across the United States in restaurant sales losses.
How long does it take to recover from those numbers, which, as you said, are pretty staggering?
Yeah, it takes time. Obviously, the influx of guests into our dining rooms has been really wonderful news for our industry. It takes that time, as I mentioned, but keep in mind those sales are gone forever, right? You're not going to go back and be able to recoup that 2.75 billion. What you hope to do is be able to go and make up for it in this year.
Whether it's to go or dine in, obviously restaurants need staff. How do you attract those staff members back or the new staff members that you need to fill?
Well, working in a restaurant's never easy. It's always a challenging job, from dishwashing on through the line. That all being said, uh, the reality we have seen is unlike what we have experienced in the past. To have this severe of a shortage is really kind of unfounded. So we have seen unique and entrepreneurial things like we always do in our restaurant industry, and that is, we've seen signing bonuses. We've seen bonuses just to show up. McDonald's was offering $50 just to show up for an interview. That's quelled somewhat, but aside from that, what we're now witnessing many of our restaurateurs doing is, okay, if you're there for 60 days, you're going to get $500 bonus. If you're there for 120 days, that might go up to 1,500, that kind of thing. So we're doing the best we can to incentivize our staff to want to stay with us. Because you have some cannibalizing going on too between the restaurant industry and retail industry, because everyone's so hard pressed that you might have a great employee, but might get napped up for $5 more an hour to another competitor.
June is usually a slower time for restaurants. It heats up here. A lot of people leave town, go to cooler climates. In Tucson, we also see the students leave, and they make up a lot of staff for restaurants. So, a slow period as things are really reopening, does that make it even more difficult?
Well, I think in this case, you bring up a great point. It's a little different in that this is gonna help, I think, level set where we are for the summer. Because so many people are vacating, especially there in Tucson, you mentioned the students, other people are going to vacation. And what I hope about that is, now that we're going to see fewer guests coming into our restaurants, that we'll be able to reconcile the current inequity we have in our labor market. And then by Q3 of this year, that we're seeing more normalcy as we did pre-COVID.
All right. Well, thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you for thinking of us.